Shalom, everyone. We're continuing in our Psalms series. We're going to be reading from Psalm 121 and Psalm 91, depending on how far we get. Here we are at the beginning of Psalm 121, reading in the Hebrew Foundations Bible, which is on page 2144. Who would like to read the first verse? Eileen, go ahead.
שיר המעלות, אשא עיניים אל ההרים, מאין יבוא עזרי.
Good. Shir Lama'alot is the introduction. It is a song of ascent. So this is one of, what is it, 15 Psalms of ascent, which usually means that these would be the Psalms either that pilgrims would recite or sing on the way to Jerusalem for the festivals, and or the ones that the Levites would sing on the stairs going up to the temple. And then the first verse begins, Esa einai el heharim me'ain yavo ezri. So here again, we have parallelism. We're going to divide this part as the first part and that as the second part. Esa has a yiktol aleph in the front, says I will or I do. What is the root? There are two root letters visible, sin and aleph. What is the triconsonantal root?
Nasa?
Nasa.
Nasa?
Right. The noon has assimilated into the sin as a strong dagesh. My apologies. The microphone wasn't close. Hopefully that sounds better now. The noon of the root has assimilated in, so it's noon sin aleph, which means to lift, bear, carry, etc. So I will lift. If it's easy to remember, NASA, things going up, lifting up, lift off. So nasa means to lift, or care or bear, carry or bear. Ainai has a pronominal suffix on it that says it's plural and it's mine. So ayin is an eye or eyeball. Ainai, my eyes. I lift my eyes. Here they are. That's a figure of speech, obviously, in Hebrew. You're not like holding a handful of eyes. No, you're lifting your eyes up to see, as opposed to looking down, make sure you don't stumble on something. You lift your eyes to look into the distance. El heharim, to the mountains. Ha has turned into he. Why? Why has the definite article ha turned into he?
There's an matz under the hay, and the accent is on the last syllable. It's the ultimate, and it's a guttural. It's a hay, a chet, or an ayin.
Good.
I think
I think you got all the points. We're looking for three things. If there is a guttural ayin, hey, or chet that has a kamatz that is not stressed, then the preceding definite article becomes he. Wow, that's a lot of criteria to consider. It's okay. We don't have to recreate the Bible, just understand why it's doing what it's doing. And this is when he shows up, when those three things are true. Harim are mountains, he harim, the mountains. What does it mean to lift your eyes to the mountains? What are you looking for?
Lord answers.
the Lord is
For
the Lord is peeking but from behind the mountain. I see you. The commentaries will tell you that mountains / high places are typically locations dedicated to the worship of deities. And they would also tell you about which mountain specifically a pilgrim would be looking toward as he makes his way to Jerusalem. Mount Zion, right? The mountain upon, or Mount Moriah, the mountain upon which Jerusalem is founded. So lifting up one's eyes towards that location. But yeah, it's definitely excuse me, definitely. It's probably indicating looking towards a stronghold or help, because the next part says as much. You're looking for something. What are you looking for? Me'ayin, from where? Yavo ezri, from where will come my help? Look to the mountains, because that's where your help comes from.
You know what? I never thought of it before, but it is Shir Lama'alot, so they're going up to the mountain anyway. So they're kind of looking toward where they're going to.
Right. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure when all of the Psalms of Ascent were written, whether there was a temple yet, but ultimately these songs of ascent, or Psalms of Ascent, are used for pilgrims and making pilgrimages and Levites at the temple. But yeah, exactly. Verse 2. Who wants to read verse 2?
Maybe?
I'll read.
All right. I heard Anatoly, I think.
Right. Ezri me'im Adonai oseh shamayim ba'aretz
Mhm.
al iten.
It's verse 3 for someone else. Ezri. Okay, so where does my help come from? Ezri me'im Yod He Vav He Hashem Adonai. That's answering the question to the previous. Answer to the previous question. Me'im is a combination of two words. From, with. So my help was with the Lord, and now it's coming from him. So it's kind of an interesting picture there. But ultimately, me'im, well, actually, no. And I was going to say in modern times, it turns into me'ito. It uses a different preposition. Anyway, im means with, me is the compensatorily lengthened vowel form of mean, from being with the Lord. Which Lord? This is the participle that comes to answer that question. Oseh, the one making, Shamayim va'aretz. What is a merismus?
What? Ooh.
Universe.
Of course, I don't have enough room there. Here, let me write it somewhere else. Merismus.
Universe.
Anatoly, what'd you say?
Shamayim. Yeah, Shamayim and heaven. It's merism. Universe. Creator of universe.
Okay, so a merismus is when you list two opposite ends of a scope, and your intention is to include all of it. So like when Saul says everyone from Dan to the Negev, or something like that, it's like everyone in between. Well, this is also a merismus indicating that the Lord is the maker of all things by stating the upper limit and the lower limit, the heavens and the earth. All right, Peggy, did you want to read verse 3?
Yeah.
All right, verse 3 is right here. Go ahead.
Al iten lamot raglika al yanum somrika
Shomerecha.
shomereka.
Good.
Oh, it's an audible. Okay.
Right, because it follows a long
The
vowel
long
hold on.
vowel, yeah.
Exactly. Right, exactly. Okay. Al yiten. Al is used in very specific places in the Bible when there is a negative, let's say negative command. It's a adjussive form. It's a negative volative. Gosh, why am I having trouble with this? It's a negation of a volative form. So it's what one wants to happen, but it's a negative. So don't let yiten, he will not give, permit, let. This is from what root? Yiten?
To give.
None.
Right.
Natan.
Right.
Natan.
Just like earlier with nasa and the missing noon, but there's a dagesh. So also here we have a strong dagesh indicating that the root is natan, to literally to give, but Hebrew uses it for a very in a very broad way. So don't let him give, set, permit lamot.
I had trouble with that word
Hmm.
because lamut is the infinitive construct, right? Lamut.
Isn't that an infinitive?
So is that a noun? Is it like to this? It just didn't make sense to me. I did find it, but
Okay, so you're okay. Let me get what you're saying here, Cheryl. You said that the infinitive construct is lamut, like this.
thought so. I thought it was.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Let me ask you a question then. Let's use a
Okay.
different, similar sounding word, has nothing to do with this one, but it's very similar sounding, so it'll work for the example after I put a rectangle on the screen. There we go. Let's use this word. What is this word right here? Moot.
Die.
Death.
Die.
Right, yeah.
Die.
It's not
You
it's
die.
not death. It is not death. It is to die. Or
die.
la moot, right? To die.
Right.
This
To
is an
die.
infinitive construct.
Construct.
Good. What is moat?
Is it infinitive absolute?
Flip.
Okay,
Or
fair.
is it not a verb at all? That's the question.
Not a verb at all.
Okay.
Not a verb at all.
That's not, oh,
Let me
wow.
think. Let me think of a different example then. What is no, that's not a good one. I'm trying to think of the verbal root of the word rov.
Rov.
Mm-hmm. See, the problem that I'm running into is that I think it's resh bet missing yod, like rabah.
Or ravav.
Or rava. I don't know that it's ravav. Maybe because you get words like rivava, which means 10,000, and so has to do with a lot. Absolutely. But if you're talking about something being many, you would say rava, which would be, with a vowel hey right there, rava. But what is the noun much?
Rov.
Rov. Rov. So the O is part of the pattern of the word, turning it into a noun.
Okay.
So the moat here, which is it's actually a construct form of the masculine noun, death. Like if I said mot ha'ish, it would be the death of the man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's actually a noun. Now, you said, could it be an infinitive absolute? Yes, it could be, but technically an infinitive absolute is also a verbal noun, so I'm okay with that. But the O of the pattern, turning a root into a noun, is what we're looking at here. So then back to the question about moot, which has to do with what, shaking or toppling or something like that.
But it was moat, not moot.
I know, exactly. So if the verbal root is memvav tet, having to do with, unstable, then what would mot be? It would be the construct noun of shaking or toppling.
Toppling.
Now so that then explains why we have the la in front of it.
So then is there a verb to slip?
Of course there is, but that would be
Moat?
that would either be lamut or it would be lemotet. It would or lehitmotet. It would show up in different binyanim a little bit differently, but it wouldn't show up like this. I would argue. Okay, I guess you could go two different ways. You could say that maybe the Masoretes got it wrong here, and it should have been the verbal. Oh, is this the root mem vav tet or mem tet? No. This is, let me look it up. I want to be sure. What are we in? Verse 3? Pretty sure. you're right, Cheryl, but I just want to make sure. Go check this out. Okay, so mem vav tet, shaking, wavering, says it comes from, yeah, totter, shake. Of course. So this is, does it say noun? Yeah, masculine noun. The way that it's written here is a masculine noun. The root is still mem vav tet. So what we're looking at here is a noun rather than a verb. Now, what I want to ask is why does there appear to be a definite article here? What's wrong with that being a definite article? Lamot. To the slipping. Why is
Well,
that a
then
problem?
then it would be a noun then if there's a definite
Right.
article.
Of course, but is there a problem? See, I would have expected this to be in construct, the slipping of your foot. But if it's in construct, we can't have a definite article here. It would have to be on if anywhere, it would have to be on the last word, but that's already definite because of the pronominal suffix. So I would have expected lemot, without a dagesh, to the slipping of your foot.
Okay.
Meh. So
So then
then,
why is the dagesh there?
great question. If we had to figure it out, we would say that if we just take the Masoretes at their word, then this lamot has to be to the slipping. And this cannot be in construct. So then the question becomes, what would raglecha then be? And the answer, I would imagine, is that someone would call this adverbial. How would you slip? With your foot. So by calling it adverbial, it solves the problem.
Wow.
Yay.
So can
All
you
right.
translate it then how
I guess it would
you
be,
just
may he not give to slip in a your foot way.
the
Right?
foot slipping way.
The foot slipping way.
The foot slipping kind of
or
way.
foot slipping wise.
Yeah.
Or foot slipping like. Yeah, somehow. And then al yanum shomrecha. Now, because of the al, yanum is definitely a verb. The root is
Num.
num 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 num. Num 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 num.
Numi.
It's one way to
Numi.
that's one way to remember how what this means. You know, someone snoring and then num 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 num, whatever. Yanum is to slumber. But al yanum, he will not slumber. Who won't? Shomrecha. What is shomer?
Hard.
Participle.
Hard.
Participle.
It's a participle, the
Yeah.
one guarding.
Mm.
And
So what is
the question then becomes, is it the one guarding you or your guarding one? Which one would it be?
Your guardian. One.
The guarding
guarding
one
one
that belongs to
of
you.
you.
Mhm. The guarding one that belongs to you. In order for this to be the one who guards you, it would have to be a verb proper, whereas a participle is technically an adjective. And so it's the guarding one belonging to you. So that's why the translation is your protector. And I'm good with that, unless there are
so
any
what
questions.
is yanum? Is
Yeah. Yanum is a yiktol. Yanum is a yiktol verb. The yod says he will. The root num is to slumber. But sorry, now
got
that I
the
say,
al in front of it?
thank you. So it's not yiktol, is it? The al tells you that it's actually a jussive, which looks an awful lot like a yiktol. But jussive says there's a volition built into the verb. So let him not, or may he not slumber. That is your protector. So it is a jussive 3ms. Who wants to read verse 4?
I'll read it.
Go ahead, Gavriel.
Or Kine lo yanum belo Yishan Shomer Yisrael.
Mm-hmm. So there's that yanum again. Hine, here, right? Hen means something like here. So hine, here we translate it as behold, or there, or look, or turn your attention. Lo yanum. Now this is a yiktol, because it's not an al in front, it's a lo. He does not, or he shall not, or he will not slumber. Velo yishan. And not he will yashen. Why is there an ah vowel under the sheen instead of an o? Yiktol is supposed to have an o.
So
No, if this were, it is in pausal form, but because it's in pausal form, that vowel has turned into a kamatz rather than patach. The point is, it's still an a vowel instead of an o vowel. Why is it yishan instead of yishon? It's not because of gutturals.
is it Nifal by any chance? State of
Being asleep is considered a stative verb in Hebrew. So in the katal form, it is yashen, and you can see the a instead of the a. And then in the yiktol, you see the a vowel, which further confirms that it is seen as a stative. Yishan. So here the yod is part of the root. Fortunately, the yod has not gone missing, but it did turn into a vowel. Yishan, he will sleep. Actually, velo yishan, he will not sleep.
Can you give another example of a state of like that?
So it's a verb?
It is a
Yeah.
verb. So you get yigdal, or in pausal form, yigdal, or yikdash. He is holy, or yechesar, he will lack, or in pausal form, yechesar. So anytime you have that ah vowel in the yiktol, and there's no guttural, then it's a stative.
So it's a patak going to a kamat?
Yes, ma'am. It's a patach that goes into kamatz in the state in the pausal form.
Yeah.
All right. So behold, he does not slumber, nor does he sleep. Who? Shomer Yisrael. Is this a
Infinitive
Oh.
construct.
How-
Infinitive construct.
Wait. What do you mean infinitive construct? What are you saying?
I mean construct form. That Shomer
Okay.
Yisrael, like protector of Israel. When I see the of, I think construct. Why are you laughing?
Because in the construct form, you expect that long vowels will become shorter.
Shomer, okay, so that might be an historically long vowel, which stays the same, right? So I've heard anyway. I've heard that from a different teacher though, so maybe she's wrong.
No. Historically, long vowels are supposed to, well,
Remain.
no, I can think of examples where historically long vowels will drop to a short vowel. They won't drop to a schwa. They will never drop to a schwa, but they can drop to a short vowel. So no, this is not an example of a historically long vowel.
But it is a participle.
Yes, you're getting
So
warmer.
so a participle is an adjectival verb or a verbal adjective. So it's not a
Yes.
noun.
Yes,
So
keep
it can't be
going.
a noun in construct.
No, that's where you went off the rails.
Okay, I went off the
so
rails.
you can use an adjective substantively. Okay, the guarding one, or the wise, or the great one, right? You can use it as a noun. That's not a problem. The problem here is that if it is in construct, that vowel should have dropped down either to a segol or a chirik or a patach, something short, and it didn't. So what we're looking at here is an object of the verbal adjective. The one guarding Israel.
Garter of
Or-
Israel.
Yeah, so the of
The
here is throwing us off because we think of there must be a construct chain instead of this being the object of shomer. Now, if this were prose instead of poetry, this would have been shomer et Yisrael. And that et would remove all
Okay.
doubt that it's receiving the action of that participle's verb, that
So
participle's action.
shomer is the only verb in the phrase.
No, shomer is a participle, but it
But it is-
connotes a verbal activity. Yeah.
Okay.
That was probably a bit unnecessary to go through, but hey, if you guys benefit from it, then wonderful. Who wants to read verse 5?
I'll
I
read
can
it.
read.
Oh, go ahead.
Annie, go ahead.
Adonai shomecha, Adonai tilcha al yad yeminecha.
Can I push you a little on this one?
Shomrecha.
It's a beautiful thing, Annie. Don't hide it. Okay. What I was getting at is Annie's done a good job pronouncing that really difficult r, like modern Israeli or French or German R sound, and I'm really proud of her for it. Okay, here we are in verse 5. Yod He Vav He, the Lord, Adonai, Shomrecha, Adonai Tzilcha, Al Yad Yeminecha. How are we going to split this up into sections? Like into 2 or 3 parts, poetic lines, whatever you want to call it.
Shomrecha.
Okay. Should we also put something here?
Yeah, there's a riviet there.
There is a rivier there, which poetry tends to use as a quarter marker. But then if we did that, it would leave us with a prepositional phrase here, which isn't a full, complete thought. So maybe it's just best to leave it here. That way we have a verb there and a verb there in both clauses. Adonai shomrecha. Well, I just called it a verb. Is it a verb?
No, it's a participle.
The participle. So where's the verb? It is understood. The Lord is your protector. Now this is a verb, right? Right?
No.
No. So neither one of them's a verb. 0 for about 1,000
It's
here.
just
So
a
this
noun, isn't
is
it?
is very good. So
Ah.
what?
In construct.
Very good in construct. The is this a seglet?
Oh, is it?
Mm,
Is that salal?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Oh.
so if it's talal, it won't be a segelet because isn't the accent on the first syllable of a segelet usually?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
In the standalone form, yes, but this is now suffixed, so the stress is on the cha. But the point is, it's tzalal, which was probably an original tzil, like this. And so we get to see that vowel showing up here and the doubling of the lamed in the dagesh. And think of other segelets like amam, which turns into like amo. It looks like this. So this is an a vowel segelet, whereas this one is an e vowel segelet. Let's see. So this is from the root tzalal, has to do with shade. We know this from the guy's name Betzalel, in the shade, Betzel, El, in the shade of God. You guys remember Betzalel? He was one of the 2 artisans that worked on the tabernacle in Exodus. Anyway, so his name will help you remember that it's a shade, in the shade of God. So the Lord is implied or inferred verb. I guess we're inferring it. The writer implied it, right? The Lord is tzilcha, your tzil, your shade, al yad yeminecha. What does this part mean? At the hand of your right? At your right hand?
So hand is twice.
Kind of. Yes. You know what? Let's go ahead and say that. Yeah. Yad seems to be the general.
Right hand, right?
Yad is kind of like the general word for hand, and there are places in the Bible where yamin is used by itself, referring to the right hand. So it looks like we have a general term followed by a specific term. So he is your shade that is like right next to you at your right hand. All right, this here is verse 6. Who wants to read verse 6?
I'll go.
All right, go ahead, Cheryl.
יומם השמש לא יככה וירח בלילה.
Relatively short verse. Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka v'yareach balayla. All right. Yomam is not your mother. What is Yomam?
My mom is Imi.
Uh,
Yomam means daily, basically.
Right. So the here appears to be an adverbial suffix or whatever, or sufformative. The word is yom, day. Yomam is then by day or daily. Hashemesh refers to the
sun.
kind of. What does it refer to earlier
The
than that?
daytime, basically.
Why is Shimshon Samson named Little Shemesh?
Sun God.
Yee! We all know whom the Egyptians worshipped, right? The sun god. So also it exists in the ancient Near East. So what does it mean that Hashemesh lo yakeka? The sun will not strike you. The sun's rays will not strike you. You won't get a sunburn? Or is it referring to like some sort of a false deity has no power over you?
Oh, wow.
Then again, there's also a
moon god.
Moon god. That's probably the one after which Jericho is named, Jericho, and it's definitely the one that the Middle Eastern clans worshipped before they converted to Islam. Largely, the moon god is what they worshipped. Anyway, the point is that this could be referring literally to the sun and moon, and that's kind of strange. I mean, sure, the sun's rays strike you in the sense that it's hot and whatever, but since when does the moon strike you? Oh gosh, the moon's rays are just striking me. Well, it doesn't make sense unless it's referring to something a little bit more powerful than just the moon. So maybe that's what it is.
I've seen in it's modern Hebrew, I guess, the New Testament, Mukat Yereach, I think it's epilepsy.
Oh.
In the New Testament, yeah.
That's so what does that mean? Mukat Yereach?
Moonstruck.
Stricken by the moon. Or okay. So that's something. So if you don't want to get epilepsy, then
well, could it mean the enemies that worship those gods? Is that what you're getting at, kind of?
That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I would wonder what the etymology is from a verse like this all the way to the translation that shows up in the Hebrew New Testament, moonstruck for epilepsy. I wonder if that shows up in like Mishnah or something. Stricken by the moon god. Now he has epilepsy. I don't know. That's something to look into. All right. So now verse 7 is spanning the page here. Who wants to read verse 7 from there to there?
I will.
I do it.
Eileen, you're next, and then Anatoly next. Go ahead, Eileen.
Okay. Adonai yishmorecha mikol ra yishmor et nafshecha.
Excellent. Adonai yishmocha. You see the kamatz katan that's made a little bit bigger here in this version so that we can spot it easily. Yishmor is the yiktol. Cha is the object of the verb. The Lord will protect you. Mi kol ra, there's another kamatz katan, from all harm. And again, this is a segulate. It's a geminate root in a segulate pattern. So what should have been kul, like that, in Hebrew turns into kol, either with kamatz katan or with a cholam, either one, and with a geminate lamed if we get a suffix like kulo, or Kolo would turn into kulo. And they're all, O's and U's in Hebrew go back and forth. So it's potato, potato. And so the Lord will protect you from all ra, evil, bad, wicked, harm. Yishmor et nafshecha. So it looks like this is something of a, well, let's just call it repetition. I don't want to call it staircase, parallelism, but we've got the Yishmorcha, he will guard you, parallel with Yishmor et nafshecha. So those seem to be parallel. He will guard your nafsh or nefesh, which is, essentially your being, your life, your everything that encompasses you, the physical and the non-physical. And all right, now we can go down to here and scooch over. There we go. To the last verse, verse number 8. Who will read the last verse? I said it was going to be Anatoly.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, go ahead.
Adonai Ishmor Tzatecha Uviecha Uboecha Miata Be'ad Olam.
Very good. Adonai Yishmor. There's another Kamatz Katan. Wait a second. Is that an unstressed syllable?
Yeah.
Yeah, that hyphen, that makif turns both of these words into one. So yes, it is. This is an unstressed syllable, so it turns into Kamatz Katan. Yishmor tzetecha. What is tzet? Where does it come
Going
from?
out.
Exit. Yeah.
Get it? Did you hear what I said? Where does it come from? Anyway.
Yeah.
Yaha comes from the root yatsa.
Yata,
And this particular form, tzet, is the what form?
infinitive
Infinitive
construct.
construct, right. And then that
Tzet.
means we can put a pronominal suffix on it, your act of going out. But if we saw it in the regular Kal Katal form, it would be yatsa, which means he went out. So that means we have a weak letter yod that went missing at the front.
Can you, in infinitive construct like that, tzetecha, can it be a direct object or a subject?
You're asking about the pronominal
can it-
suffix?
Can it go either way? Like, the
Oh.
going out of you or your
Right. Well,
going out of someone or
right.
your,
I think
know
I
what I'm saying?
understand. I think I understand your question, but you have to use a transitive verb in order to ask it. So if we use, for example, what would it be? Shom recha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So this shomer would be an infinitive construct, which means to guard. Shomcha would mean your act of guarding. Not to be confused with what we saw earlier, shomre or shomrecha or shomrecha with a cholam. This one up here, shomrecha or shomrecha or something like that, this is a participle. So this would be your one who is guarding. So that would be your protector, as opposed to shomrecha, which would be your act of guarding. You are the protector. So it significantly changes the meaning, whether it's attached to an infinitive construct like this one, or whether it's attached to a noun or a participle like the one over here. As is it my protector or is it my act of protecting?
Yeah, that's what's confusing me.
But the reason you couldn't ask your question for this verb is because it's not transitive. I can't go out someone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it has to be transitive. Right. Adonai Yishmor Tzetecha, he will guard your going out, your act of going out, Uvoecha, and your act of coming in. Is this another merismus?
Oh,
Seems like it.
Right.
And
It's
everything
not
in between.
exactly. So it's not just, okay, you're going out now, so the Lord's guarding you. Oh, no, no, now you're coming back, so now he's guarding you again. No, it's probably everything in between.
Yeah.
And
So that
Me'atav,
would be,
say again,
from
Peggy?
now to perpetuity would be one then.
That would be another one, exactly. Me'atav ad olam, from now and unto vanishing point or forever, perpetuity. And absolutely, that would be another one.
To
Okay.
Marismai. There.
That's a good question. I don't know what the plural is.
Yeah.
But then
it's,
again, if you look in a modern dictionary, it will tell you that octopuses and cactuses is now acceptable. So we're probably in a stage of English where merismuses is perfectly normal. Doesn't
Okay.
sound right, but whatever. And,
So are they very common in poetry?
oh, sure. Well, in Hebrew poetry, yes.
Oh, Hebrew, yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay,
in English
questions.
too. Yes.
Yeah, I guess it does show up. Can you think of some English ones?
Never.
Hmm.
I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I'm sure they exist in English as well. Questions on Psalm 121 before we move on to Psalm 91? Okay. Psalm 91 is on page 2098. And let me scooch this back over so we can see it. There it is. 91. Okay. Apparently I can't operate this well. Let's try that again. Okay. Who wants to read the first verse of Psalm 91?
Could I please? Because I have
Yeah,
a question.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
יושב בסתר עליון בצל שדי יתלונן.
Very
What's
good.
that?
Yoshev beseter elyon betzel shaddai yitlonan. All right.
Mhm.
What's your question?
Well, yitlonan means to complain in modern Hebrew, and well, I don't know if it's lean or loon to
Mhm.
spend the night, but this one here is in it's a hitpa'el.
Correct.
It's in a
Correct.
hitpa'el form, which
We discussed that in the Telegram chat group this week, didn't we?
Yeah, it's another one just like that one.
Another one just okay. So your question is a good one. Let's start with it. The first question you ask is the original root. The original root is lun,
okay.
which then turns into lin. There are there are multiple examples that like this where the vav becomes a yod. Another one would be sum becoming
sim.
Both of these are attested in the Bible. So it appears that the vav becomes a yod. There are plenty other examples where the vav shows up at the end or as the third root letter. Like for example, Anna with the original vav becomes Anna with a yod, which we know as Anna with a vowel letter hey, either to sing or to answer. And so there are plenty. Shalav or Shin Lamed Vav is another example that turns into Shin Lamed Yod, and then later Shin Lamed Vowel Hey, Shala, meaning to be not tranquil, calm, restful. And there's a good possibility that this is the root from which Shalom might have come, where the mem is probably an original adverbial suffix, shalab. And anyway, so lamed vav nun becomes lamed yod nun, has to do with lodging, dwelling for the night. In modern Hebrew, hitlonen means to complain, correct? Actually, does it show up in the Bible to mean complain? When the people complain to Moses, right?
I don't know. You know what? I GPT chatted it. I
Okay.
didn't look it up in
All right, not a problem. Probably
reputable
should.
place.
Reputable. There you go. And so yes, you are correct that if this has to do with lodging, then the root is lamed something noon. And so what we're looking at is a hit, what's called a hit polel form. No. Yeah, hit polel.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm sorry. No, in the chat we talked about hit palpel.
Yeah.
And pilpel and
This is
polpal or pulpal. Okay, so this is the polel, or in the pual it would be the polal, and in the hit polel, I mean in the hit pael, it would become hit polel.
lel. Yeah.
Okay, so rather than reduplicating the two strong root letters of the root to make four root letters. No. This is dropping, let's see. This is used for either hollow roots or geminate. What is a hollow root?
When there's a missing consonant, when it's just two root letters.
Well, yeah, but
Well,
when the second root
when
letter
it's
is a vav or yod.
Vav and onion.
Right. Okay. So second
A
root
vav
letter
or a
vav
yod,
or
I mean.
yod, which is exactly what we're looking at with the loon or lean.
Yeah.
But it also allows geminate roots to use this polel, polal, hit polel. What is a geminate root?
I9.
The second and the third
Double
root is
letter.
same.
Right. Exactly. If the second and third root letters are the same, like in savav, to surround or go around. So if you put that root into PL, I'm sorry, it's not going to be a PL verb. It'll use the specialized form polel, and it will become ye so vev. He will surround. So that's a polel, or if it's in the, no, I don't want to say that. If it's in the hit polel, it actually has metathesis, and it's a little bit more complicated. It becomes, instead of a yit so vev, it becomes
Yistavel.
Yestovev, because the samech and the tav sound too much alike, so it becomes Yistovev, and these two letters swap. But I didn't mean to go there,
Yeah.
but that's what studying Hebrew does, takes you from one rabbit trail to another. Now let's get back onto the main road.
We'll see.
So I want to know whether this yitlonen does actually mean complain in the Bible. I'm pretty sure it shows up in Exodus. Where are we? Psalm 91. Yitlonen. Yeah, to complain, grumble, murmur. Where does that show up? It shows up.
Exodus 15:24.
There you go.
Great, Becky.
Exodus 15:20. Exodus 15:24. Here, can we show? Come back. There we go. All right,
Yeah,
Exodus
there it is.
15:24, and the people murmured against Moses, Vayilonu. What's cool about this, though, is that the second root letter nun, no. Okay, this is fun. Is that a cow? No.
Sure looks like
what
one.
binyan is that? Let me just put it. Okay, let's start with the easy bit. What form is this?
It's cow. Well, that's a
Let's start with the
Vayiktol.
form. Yeah,
Vayiktol.
good. Vayiktol, the Vav Patach Dagesh tells it's a Vayiktol. The Yod and the U tell us that the subject is
Them.
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 So 3 MP, good. So all we're left with is a chirik, a lamed with a dagesh. There's a cholam hiding right there in case you didn't notice. Noon. This is not a new suffix. The noon is part of the of the root. Okay, so now can we kind of hash out what binyan this is? I mean, with the chirik and the dagesh, you might be tempted to say it's
PL, but it's not.
Yeah.
you would be tempted to say it's nifal, but it's not.
Oh, Nifal. Okay, but that's if it's still geminate, then one of the noons is missing. But it's in the form of a yiktol, like a kal yiktol. Yikto. What? You're
With that,
grinning and you're
look,
just
no,
calling.
I just because
Yeah.
I don't know. It's we've got a chirik right there and a cholam right there. That's exactly the form we would expect for a yiktol.
Oh, for a Yikto Kal.
The only problem is that stinking dagesh in the middle.
Sometimes letters can dagesh backwards.
Yes,
Could it
sometimes
be a nifal?
I don't think it could be a nifal because we should expect there to be an ah vowel right there if it's a
Yeah.
nifal. And but also it says that it does show up in nifal and in hefil.
Oh,
So all right, let's see what the grammar says.
we're
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
pull
Nifal.
up. Shall we take bets?
Yeah.
All right, this one says it is nifal.
Yeah,
Wow.
Look
that's
at
the
that.
dagesh then.
Can you
It's
see
the
that?
noon of the day. It's the
Yeah.
noon of Nifal.
So why no kamatz?
Why no kamatz? Why no kamatz? I guess because, of course, because the second root letter is a vav. So what should have been vayilaunu, the AW becomes an O sound. Of course. Of course. The AWs in Hebrew often turn into O's. Ah. Okay.
That's a hard one.
That was a hard one. Yeah. I was certain that it wasn't a nifal,
Nifal,
but
'cause-
turns okay. So let me think of some other examples, some hollow roots that show up in nifal. Yes, no, yashov, no, nisha. Nope, I can't think of any right now, but I could pull up some software that would show us, but that would get us far away from our current text. I love looking up things like
I
that in
know.
the Bible.
That's what Hebrew does to you.
Right? I want to go search for more. All right, here we go. Let's close or clear that out. Scooch that up. And all right, Yoshev Beseter. Is seter a seglet?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. How would you say his shelter? Put a pronominal suffix on there.
Citro.
Citro.
Good. Citro. Citro. So the tsere is a dead giveaway that the original vowel was an I or E sounding vowel. Same thing happens with the word sefer, right? That tsere tells you beyond a shadow of a doubt that Hirik is so Sifro would be his document or scroll. But you don't always get it, like in the word beten, you don't get a tsere. Bummer.
Beto?
So this just means when you get two segols like that, it just means it's ambiguous. You're not sure which one was the original vowel, and you just have to, learn it or look for examples in the Bible. This one is actually also a chirik, bit no. Why they didn't put a tzere right there, I don't know. I wish they would have. One of the theories that I looked up is that sibilant letters, the ones that occur just behind the teeth, are the ones that will typically take a tsere. Maybe. Because they're occurring up at the front of the mouth, but I can't prove that. Yoshev is a what form?
Participle.
Participle. Good. The one sitting or dwelling in the seter, lastir. It's to like hide, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like
Yes, it is.
nistar is something hidden. So
Yeah.
in the hiding place, hidey hole, elyon of the highest. So he's hanging out in the hidey hole up in the highest place. Betzel Shaddai Yitlonen, in the shadow of. Nobody knows exactly what Shaddai means. There are lots of theories. The Almighty has been kind of the go-to translation. Yitlonen lodge. So Yitlonen is parallel with
Shelter.
Shoot.
Oh, well.
Chef. Mm-hmm.
Yoshev. Shaddai is parallel with
Elyon.
Elyon.
Elion.
And Betzel is parallel with Beseter.
Besete.
So here we get synonymous, what is it? Synonymous parallelism? Yeah. Right? No, so it's one for one parallelism, sure. Oh yeah, synonymous, because you're saying the same thing twice using different words. Okay, who wants to read verse 2?
Oh, I'll read.
Go ahead, Annie.
Ormar l'Adonai machasi umetsudati Elohai evtach bo.
Very good. Omar. This is that a participle?
No, it's Iktor.
Very good. You didn't fall for it, not for a moment. Aleph is a yiktol prefix letter. The aleph of the root has gone missing. This is a weak root, aleph memresh. How many verbs behave like this where the aleph goes missing in the first person common singular yiktol form?
You want a number of them?
Yes.
6.
Okay, good. Originally
Five.
5, but turns into 6. Originally
What
5,
are
but
they?
turns in. They are the so-called pei aleph roots.
Mhm.
Amar we see is one of them.
Ahav.
Ahav is the later addition number 6, so I'm going to put it as I'll put it at the end of the list. Ahav was originally a state of being verb and did not lose the aleph, but later on it did. Okay. Amar is 1. We have 4 more to go.
Ahaz,
Achaz, what does it mean?
to seize.
To seize. Very good. Another?
Yes.
Is ahal to eat?
That's right. Achal is another one. To eat. 2 more. Okay, so the next 2 are not nearly as common. One of them is afa,
Oh,
to bake, like bake bread. And the last one is ava, to be willing. This is where we get the root abba or av from. Abba is the one willing to provide for his family. So av is called av. So if you want to say, I will be willing, it would be ove.
oh,
Mm-hmm. Or if you want to say he was willing, it would be ava. And then ahav is originally ye'ehav, like that. He will be sorry, excuse me. Aleph e'ehav later becomes ohav and becomes part of the pei aleph verbs. Okay, so there they are. Amar, achaz, achal, afa, ava, and then later on ahav. Omar, I will say, Ladonai, to the Lord, machsi. That looks an awful lot like a segelit. Is it? Machas? Machas, 2468. Let me just double check that one. It looks like one, but I don't know for certain. Where are we in verse? Oh, I forgot. We need to go back. There we go. And oh, that's not it either. Keep going back. There we go. Machsi. Machse. No, it looks like there's a missing yod at the end. So we've got chet samich yod as the root. And so what is the mem for?
To turn it into a noun?
I think it's turning it into a noun. Yeah. Machsi would be my refuge, the one in which I chassa.
My shelter.
The one in which I take refuge. Very good. let's see. Okay, Mahsi, you are my my refuge. Umetsudati. So here's another example of adding the mem, turning it into a noun. What is the root of mitsudati?
Sud?
Yeah, good. Tsud, which has to do with being equipped. You guys remember Esau was called a hunter? That's the same root. And when he goes out to catch game for his father Isaac, it uses the same root. And then Mitsuda would be a location that is well equipped. It's a stronghold or a fortress. Elizabeth, do you have a question or do you want to read?
Yes, I do.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the difference between putting the I and my as part of the word as opposed to the T?
Very good. Excellent question. Does anybody know why the tav is stuck in this word? Why does the suffix here is not T saying that it belongs to me, but rather the suffix is chirik yod, same as the previous word. So the question here is actually, why is there a tav? Does anybody know why a tav is
No.
here? So what'd you say, Peggy?
Feminine noun?
Very good. This is a feminine noun, so we should expect the word to be a mitsuda when it stands alone. But that hey on the end was an original feminine tav that comes back in the construct. So mitsudati, yes, that is the tav of the feminine. Great question. So the location. Oh, by the way, and there are plenty of examples throughout the Bible where when you have a mem at the front of a noun and a feminine tav slash feminine hey at the end, it often refers to a location.
Oh.
Now, among those would be a word like mishpacha. What is the root shafach? Okay, let me slow down. What is the word mishpacha? Anyone?
Family.
Family.
Right. Family. Very good. Now, let's ignore the mem for a second. Who is a shifcha?
It's a handmaiden.
It's a handmaid. Right, exactly. It's a female servant. What?
Mhm.
What does mishpacha have to do with a shifcha? Well, what's the root shafach?
Shafach nafshi.
Well, it's not the root shafach,
Okay.
but rather it's the root shafach.
Oh.
And last time I looked it up, I thought it had something to do with attaching. So a shifcha would be one who attaches to your clan, and mishpacha would be the place of attachment, your family.
Oh, wow.
So let's see, what is trying to think of some other examples with mem at the front and hey at the end. Well, this one's a little controversial because of how the gender shows up in the Bible, but what is a machane?
Camp.
An encampment. Right. So
An encampment?
sometimes machane shows up as a feminine noun in the Bible, even though we know better and it should be masculine. How do we know? Because of the adjective that follows it, it is feminine. So that tells us that should have been feminine, but the Masoretes went ahead and put a masculine vowel point on there. Anyway, the point being, if it's feminine, and that means we have mem at the front, feminine ending at the end, is a place of the root chet nun yod, encamping. A place of encamping, an encampment. Daha, exactly. How about this one? Mamlacha.
Kingdom.
The place of ruling, the kingdom. So anyway, there are tons of examples of mem at the front, hey at the end being a location. So that's a good pattern to keep in your back pocket. Okay, mitsudati, there's a etnach right there, so we'll split it. I say the Lord is my refuge and my fortress, stronghold, well-equipped location. Elohai evtach bo. Elohai
My God.
is my mighty one, my God. Evtach. Why is there a patach here? Is it stative?
It's a short
Mm.
vowel. It's a short vowel because it's in construct. I think. Well, I don't know if it's in construct, but
It
it's
would
they want
be-
it as one
Tach
word.
would be stative, wouldn't it?
Okay, so it's a yiktol verb. And the aleph at the front says,
One CS.
I will, exactly. So then if this is a yiktol, we should expect there to be a cholam, like we saw earlier with,
But that would be long and you want it short.
don't worry about the length
Okay.
yet. Why is it not an O vowel and instead is an A vowel? Is it because
Stative again?
it's stative? That's my question.
Yeah.
Nope.
Trusting is a
No.
stative thing. It's not
Nope.
something you do.
No.
Nope. There's a chet.
Oh.
Oh,
If it's a second or
no.
third guttural, then you get an A vowel as well. So you
Oh,
have to look out
right,
for
right,
both
right,
of
right,
those.
right, right, right.
Evtach, I will trust, bo, in him. All right.
It is stative though, isn't it?
Nope.
No, iftach is
Not?
not stative, but liftoch is not
Why is
stative.
it not stative?
Why is it not stative? That I cannot answer.
Well, we think it should be stative.
Yes,
Well,
it
I
should be.
think that I wonder if we think it should be stative because it's an action done with the mind, whereas maybe the Hebrew culture sees it as an action that is played out in one's doings, deeds.
Mm.
There's that aspect, but as far as grammar goes, no, it is not stative because in the katal form it is batach
Ach. Mhm.
batach instead of bateach or something like that, right?
Mhm.
So actions more than thoughts. Who wants to read verse 3?
I'll read.
All right, go ahead, Gabriel.
כי הוא יצילך מפי יכוש מדבר כבוד.
Ki hu yatzilcha mipach yakush midever havot. We have something here we have a couple of things here to discuss. Okay, remember earlier when I said tzilcha is a verb? That's what I was thinking of.
Mm.
It's significantly different. And this is not from the root tzadi lamed lamed. What is the root of yatzilcha?
Is it not Natal?
Very good. Missing nun, tzadi lamed. What is the binyan of yatzilcha?
Refill?
Good, because of the patach and the chirik yod, we know it's hifil or hifil. And there's the dagesh of the missing nun. And then there's a pronominal suffix on the end. He causes deliverance for you. He delivers you. Mi pach. In modern Hebrew, pach is a can, a trash can. But in the Bible, a pach is a snare, and a yakush is the guy who goes around catching birds. So this is a construct chain?
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Me is separate
Very good.
from the pach yakush.
Right. So the mi is separate. It's the preposition. Pach yakush, the snare of the fowler. And then there's like a repetition here, implying maybe an and from the dever havot. All right. Do we know this root davar?
That's a thing. Or a word.
So if davar comes from the root meaning to buzz, which then becomes diber, which means to speak, then it becomes davar, which is a spoken word, thing, matter, issue. Then what does that have to do with dever, which is a plague or midbar, which is a wilderness. It seems to
Just
me
like
like
in
we have two different roots that look the same but have two different meanings. So in Arabic, the verb davar means to herd your animals, like to herd them along. So apparently this root over here has to do with wilderness, animals, possibly plague, not lacking. And this one over here has to do with buzzing and therefore speaking in words and matters and issues. I can't prove it, but I believe that one of these was probably from a different root, maybe da par, davar versus dapar, and because they're both bilabials, it got turned into a different root letter. I believe that these were originally two different, but in biblical Hebrew, they look like dalet bet resh, both of them. So we just say, yeah, it's one root with two different meanings, but most likely it was different in the earliest form of the Semitic languages. Havot. Now I heard the funniest. I heard the funniest interpretation from someone who was talking about the name of God. What is the root of God's name Yod He Vav He? What is the
Is it
root?
Yah?
Okay, it appears that Yod He Vav He comes from a Yiktol form. So the Yod is a Yiktol prefix, he will. And the reason that this is believed to be true is because of how God talks to Moses. He says, Ehyeh asher ehyeh. That is a Yiktol form with the Aleph Yiktol, I will be. And then when Moses goes and tells the Israelites, he doesn't say, I will, he says, he will be. And it shows up as Yod He Vav He. He will be. From the root, He Vav missing Yod. There's plenty of reasons to believe that it's He Vav missing Yod because of things like ancient inscriptions. I'm thinking particularly of the curse tablet where God's name shows up as Yod He Vav because vowel letters had not been invented yet, but the Yod had already dropped off. And there are also inscriptions that date to before the time of Solomon that do the same thing. Anyway, the point is that the He here is a vowel letter. The Yod is a Yiktol. So the root is He Vav missing Yod. What is the root of Havot? You can see where they're taking this argument.
Is this a noun?
Yeah, it's definitely a noun. It has an oat suffix, or it appears to have an oat suffix, so that would be plural. But what we're looking at is what appears to be a noun from He Vav missing Yod.
Mm-hmm.
Same as God's name. So this guy came up with this theory that said that God's name comes from destruction. And so when you pray to the Lord, you're praying destruction. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're kidding me. I can't explain this this form. It shows up maybe 3 times. Here, let me see if I can double check. In the Bible as destruction. Where are we? In verse 3, right? 90.
Right. It also shows up as desire and charm.
Oh, right.
Ruin, engulf.
1, verse 3. There we go. And there it is. All right. Desire in a bad sense, like someone desiring something they shouldn't. Chasm, that is figurative for destruction.
Chasm, right,
Engulfing,
not charm.
ruin, destruction, calamity. Oh, okay. So it shows up 16 times, 16 times in the Bible. Nowhere near as often as the verb to be or God's name, which alone is 6,800 times. But this is something to be reconciled. Why? Is it because there was originally a different root that turned into something that looks like God's, the root of God's name. You certainly can't build a doctrine like this guy did based on 16 instances of the word for plague or destruction or something like that, or desires. So anyway, I don't have a good answer for it, but I can still laugh at it nevertheless until I do have a good answer. And so here it's translated as destructions, and that would be in parallel, right? The plague of Havot would be in parallel with Pach Yakush. So it's probably a bad thing. If anybody can, if you look up a commentary or something and get some insight on this, put it on the Telegram group and mention it. I'd like to give a better answer than I've already tried to the person who brought this to my attention. Okay, let me scooch this down. Is there anything else? No. Okay, verse 4. Who wants verse 4?
Yes, please.
Go ahead, Cheryl.
Okay. בעברתו יסך לך ותחת כנפיו תכסה צינה וסוחרה אמיתו.
There's that verb from earlier when we saw machsi, my refuge. Here now it's a yiktol. So you will chet samach missing yod. Take refuge. Good. Be'evrato. What's the root of be'evrato?
It does mean
Mm,
feathers, doesn't it?
avar?
Good, avar. So the bet is a prefixing word. The vav is a pronominal suffix. The tav is a feminine tav. So we're left with aleph, bet, resh. Cheryl, do you remember, is this the word for like a medical term for limb? Like
Evarim. I don't know if that's
or organs or something like that?
yeah,
or-
that Evarim is organs. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so here we're talking about a particular
okay.
part of a bird. Does anybody know what the pinion of a bird is? That where the wing comes into the body? Maybe. I know what a pinion is on a pickup truck.
Yeah, sorry, the end of the wing. Something.
Okay, the end of the wing.
Distal,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So here we have in, at, with, his, pinion, part of a bird. Yasech. Wait. Who's the who? To whom is it referring with that o suffix? Whose pinion?
The bird that's the Lord.
Good. The bird that is symbolically representing the Lord. So with his pinion, Yasech lach. So that's from the root. Well, let me ask you, what is the root of Yasech?
Sachach, I think. Sachach.
Okay, so sachach, that's the same root that we see in like Sukkot, covering. It's a vegetation. Well, is it not samach kaf yod to cover? Like a michse, uh-oh. No, it's sachach, right? It's not samach kaf. Uh-oh.
No, it's I looked it up as
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
sachach.
Okay, so it's sachach is the root for originally for vegetation, but it refers to like a temporary shelter covering of some kind. So here we see Yasech, he shall actually isn't Yasech going to be Joseph?
Yeah, I got Joseph here.
Yeah, it's Joseph. So with his pinion, may he cover for you. V'tacha knafav. So this is going to be parallel with the evrato. Techse, that would be parallel to Sachach. And then Tzina, shield. Well, actually, no, that's separate, right? That's the end of the.
Yeah, that's a new phrase.
It's a new phrase. Okay. Tzina v'sochera amito. So Tzina is I was going to say military. It's a defense All right, shield and sochera. Sochera. That doesn't. Is this one of those words? Is Peggy here? Yeah, Peggy. One of those words that doesn't show up very often in the Bible.
I don't think so.
Socher.
I got like in English they say buckler and it's like the surrounding
I think
shield.
it's like less than 5 times.
Oh, okay. All right. Buckler is the one holding a shield. Tzina is a shield, and
Shield
Sochera
and
is a.
shield.
That's only one time.
Ugh, of course.
Sohara.
If you take all the Hebrew words in the Bible that occur only one time or possibly two, that comprises nearly half of all the words in the Bible. So there are lots and lots and lots of words that only show up once or twice. And how can we know what they mean? There just simply isn't enough context in the Bible from those one or two locations to derive its meaning without going to sister languages and finding cognates in Arabic, Akkadian, Ugaritic, those other languages. So we know that it has something to do with a tzina, a shield. So some kind of defense. Amito. What is the root of amito?
Emet.
Amen.
Well, it's actually amen, right?
Amen.
Aleph
Yeah.
mem nun, and that's the reason you get the strong dagesh in the tav. The tav is feminine tav. O is his. So what is emet or ement? Emet is usually translated as truth, but this doesn't sound like a context for truth as we think of it. It's something that is unwavering, something that you can rely on, like a shield or a wall, something that is your defense. All right, let's see, verse 5. Hopefully we can, yeah, we're not going to make it all the way to the end. All right, who wants to read verse 5?
Could I read, please?
Yes, go ahead, Hannah.
לא תירא מפחד לילה, מחץ יעוף יומם.
So let's split it right here. Lo tira. What's the root of tira?
Yeah, afraid.
Yara. Yara,
Yara.
to fear,
Fear.
revere, right? You shall
Fear.
not fear. Mipachad. What it says from the, so this is essentially a, I don't know if I can, gosh, can we really call that a synonym? I guess in a way, sure. So yara is like reverence for something that, what's the difference between fear and reverence? Right? I don't fear a big bus coming down the road, but I revere it. I stay out of its way, right? I guess I don't know. There's a little bit of a difference, I would say, between yara and pahad, but here it's translated as dread. So you shall not fear, be afraid of the dread of Laila, night. And then there's a second part, mechetz ya'uf yomam. What is a chetz?
Arrow.
What's the root?
Chitzchut, I don't know.
Right. Well,
Chatzatz.
the pronominally suffixed form would be chitzo. Now do you know?
Chitz, okay. So sefer,
It's chet tzadi tzadi because of the dagesh.
yeah, so it has to be a geminate, yeah.
It's a geminate. Very good. Ya'uf. There's your root there. It's a verb. Of is originally a bird, but then later on comes to mean chicken, which ironically doesn't really fly. The arrow, from the arrow which flies, yomam, there's that word again, by day. All right, let's get one more. Who wants verse 6?
I'll read it again.
Okay, Gavriel.
מדבר באופל יחלוק, מכתב ישוד סהריים.
There's another one of those words that only shows up once in the Bible.
Which one?
Yashud. Yashud.
Yashud, but it's I think It comes in other forms, no? Sheen.
Well, if we're talking about Shin Vav Dalet,
Shaddad. Or
ah, see, that's different. Shaddad is a different root.
okay.
Here, because of the pattern of the word, it has to be Shin Vav Dalet. It's a hollow root. Shud.
Is it a apex again?
Well, in this particular form, yes. Oh, Shod Halayla. Shod. Isn't that like a burglar? Shod?
Yeah, lishdod means to like break in and
Okay,
make an
so that
entry.
would be Shaddad. Okay, so it's not,
Shaddad.
that's a different word then. So Shud, I'm not terribly familiar with it, but they say it has to do with devastate. How can we know that? Maybe we could look at another ancient translation. By the way, the Septuagint here translates this as a demon, demon.
Oh, shedim.
Well, because they're looking at, exactly, they're looking at the word shed. Well, actually, I guess it would be with like this, a shed, which is a demon. So maybe they didn't know what to do with this word yeshud. And so they're like, well, it kind of looks like the word shed, so we're going to translate it as that. And not saying it's a correct translation, but that's what they were thinking, 2,000 years ago. Midever ba'ofel, from the plague, which is in. Ophel is darkness. And then this is kind of cool to see. Why?
Because it's an animation of the plague that it walks.
I'm sorry, I was referring to why is the form Yahaloch intriguing? Because in most of the Bible, it should be Yelech,
Oh, Yelech.
right? It's a weak verb where the first root letter goes missing quite a bit. But here, Yahaloch looks perfectly normal.
Like it's a cow.
Yeah, it is a call. Yeah. But the first root letter didn't go missing. And then Miketev from the destruction, that will, Yashud, whatever that means. What does destruction do? It Yashuds. Tzohoraim then would be in
Noon.
parallel to Ophel,
yeah.
wouldn't it?
Well, actually, I think the verse before, the Tzohraim is by day, like the arrow that flies by day, and the Ophel is darkness. So the Dever was it Dever?
Oh, so that would be with Lila.
Yeah, I think it goes with the last word.
Okay, so
Like a
maybe
parallel.
5 and 6 have parallel elements. Okay. Awesome. All right, verse 7. Who wants to read verse 7? Okay, go ahead, Annie.
ייפול מצדך 1,000 ורבבה, מימינך אליך לא ייגש.
Very good. Early on, we had that verse that had both Yad and Yeminecha. Now we get to see Yeminecha being used without the word Yad. So that confirms our suspicion that it was a bit redundant to say Yad Yeminecha. All right. Yipol has a missing root letter. What is it?
נפל, nun.
Nun, exactly. There's the strong dagesh again. He will fall. Mitzidcha. What's the root? We know mi is from. And then tzidcha, cha is a suffix. So we have tzadi and then doubled dalit.
Tzadad.
Tzadad, which means side. Exactly. Tzadad. And it or he will fall from your side. Elef, and there's the revi, so we'll put a line there. 1,000 is the subject of Yipol. 1,000 will fall from your side. Ulevava, now there's that word that you mentioned earlier with the resh bet bet having to do with plenitude, and 10,000 or a myriad. Miminecha. Wait, where's the verb? Implied from the previous section. Elecha lo yigash.
Nun.
Missing nun. Yigash, nagash, to approach, draw near. To you, he or it or they, because it's like a singular, it's a collective singular. He, the 1,000 or the 10,000, will not approach, draw near. How much farther do we have? We have quite a bit of ways to go. So I think we'll probably have to put a pin in it here. And so that's verse. Oh, what did we just do?
We'll
5?
start.
No, 6.
We'll start at verse 8 next
Yeah.
time.
Okay, so we'll
So-
start at 8, the number of new beginnings. Whatever.
Yep.
So chapter 91, Psalm 91, verse 8. We'll start that next time. I will not be here next week. I've got to go
Camping?
to I have to go to a fun getaway, guys, weekend getaway. So please pass the word along. I'll put it into the chat and we'll meet here again in 2 weeks. For those of you in America, happy Mother's Day. For those of you who are not in America, we love mums. So works either way. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Lehitarot v'shalom.
Thank
Ciao.
Thank you.
you.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao a todos.